All right, well, here we are. It is Sunday, November 12th, and it's gotten cold. I think the low outside today was like 24 degrees. It's very unlikely I'm going to be doing any climbing outside between now and spring. So this is a good time to go ahead and go over my climbing gear and make sure that it is put away proper, and that if there's anything that has either expired or is worn out, that it be retired, and sort of figure what sales to look for if they're needed, etc, etc, etc. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go piece by piece, and I'm gonna be putting it in this little shelf I have made so I can have a close look, and I kind of wanted to show you what I normally do with that stuff. Okay, so let's get to it. All right, well, so here you have it. This is pretty much my collection of carabiners. Some of them are a bit older than others, so once a year, one of the things I like to do is basically just sort of pick them up and just have a quick look at them, make sure that, somehow it's not cracked, that the gates still work, that, they lock and whatnot. So this one is good. This one is good. I love this one. It's nice and white. This is good. This one is good. This one is good. This one is good. Alright, now these guys are the auto lockers. I really like these guys. Well, I'm sorry, no, this is not an auto locker. It's a well worn, but still perfectly fine. Okay, but these guys are the auto lockers. I don't remember where I got them, but I really like them because basically it's with one hand you just can open them, thread them, close them, and they're locked. And so personally I think they're very useful. So like if you just need to reach with one hand, you don't have to start going nick 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 trying to open a gate or whatnot. It's just sort of 2 fingers, open and close, and you're done. So this one is good. This one is good. Well used, but in good shape. All right. So because of surgery, I pretty much got, like, I think I was out once back in April, before I even had any symptoms. So it has been a bit of a disappointing climbing season. I didn't get out pretty much nowhere except Carter Rock, which is a fun place. This is my treads, just looking for fraying or anything that would indicate there might be a mechanism of failure, but looking good. So that is one thing I haven't gotten to do yet, and that is basically go climb in a place where you put your own protection in place. So looking forward to that. I got these things. These are sometimes referred to as chocks. You basically put them in, and then as you pull them in, they halt, and then you can, you know, put protection in place. And this is good, and the carabiner is in good shape. It can be tempting to say, well, I'm not really using that carabiner for supporting your own weight. But the truth of the matter is you never know when that carabiner is gonna get employed. So if you're climbing, my advice is make sure all your equipment for climbing is going to be basically ready to support your weight. Don't just say, oh, I'll just keep that around and then, you know, have a very bad day. Trust me, you don't want to break your neck. So, that's good. That's good. That's good. I really don't expect anything to fail because really other than indoor use, I didn't put much load, literally, on any of this. So this guy's good. All right, now ascenders. You know, this year I really haven't had a chance to do any of this. This one is in good shape. Some use. In good shape. In good shape. In good shape. All right. Now, repellent devices. ATCs, I like them like this with teeth. It really makes it pretty good. One of the things you can see is this is the one I normally use indoors, and it's starting to show somewhere in the teeth. I don't know if you can see there where some of that paint is worn off slightly, but still certainly in good shape. No, it's not showing any cracks or any symptoms of even remote failure. And if I run my fingers through it, I don't feel any burrs. Same with this one. I like to have two of something, unless it's something really expensive, because you just never know when, you know, you might need another one. So ATC is in good shape. Grigri, I don't dislike it, but I normally don't get a lot of use out of it. It just, for some reason, the ATC is so much more convenient in an indoor capacity. I normally try to make it so that I get at least one use on it each climbing session. Lately I haven't quite done that more than anything else, just because they have been relatively short, and I'm still trying to get over some of that funkiness I get in the toe. I really am hoping that goes away because it makes climbing a lot harder than it needs to be. Alright, so Gregory is in good shape. Alright, figure eights. Again, like with the ATCs, I have two of them. they tend to be kind of hard for me. They, you know, my rope seems to slip through too easily, you know. But you never know when it can come in handy. It's certainly pretty good to rappel with. Now these guys are relatively old, but they have been well taken care of, so no rust, no signs of wear and tear, so they're good. Alright, and let's see. Now, cordlets. Now, if you ever have to ascend and you don't have a prusik with you, this is a prusik, okay? So normally what happens with this is the left hand, you basically just sort of push and then pull on it, okay? And you normally have a piece of webbing hanging from this so that you can step on it as you go up. But sometimes if you don't have one of those, you can use a piece of cordelet like this, and you kind of wrap it around and whatnot. Now, with nylon, you know, these things have a shelf life, and so it never hurts to go ahead and have a look. Some of these might be getting close to 5 years old, which is about as old as I want anything made out of nylon. I'm gonna put my weight on, so just at the very least look for any signs of stress, any feel for any breach of the core. And you can tell by the vividness of the color that this one is one of the younger ones. This one, on the other hand, it's an old one. You can see it looks a little bit faded in color. I'm running my finger through it. I'm just trying to sort of feel for any irregularity in the core, but it's fine. All right, it's good. All right, let's see. This guy. What do we have here? All right, so check this out. I'm running my fingers through it, and you can really tell that there is wear and tear here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you see how there's a fuzz in there, so it's kind of obvious that there has been wear and tear. So I need to retire this cordelet, and the way to retire is to, without thinking twice, grab it and throw it into the trash. All right, and one more. So this one, the core is fine, but it looks well faded, and you can see it has some fray on the outer core, and the nut looks like it has wear out as well, so this one has to get retired as well. All right, so one of the things I'll have to do is whenever I go to the store, look to replace that, because I normally like to have, you know, about 5 of them handy. And then of course, don't forget, whatever you use it for, just go ahead and have a look, make sure that, so this one is good too. All right, so cordelets, 3 left, so I need 2 more. I use carabiner to hold it. All right, now what we have here is my quick draws, and well, they were for sale, okay, so I might have overpurchased this, but it never hurts to go ahead and have. So one of the things is bundle. These guys are still even in the store thing. And these guys are older, so we'll go ahead and inspect them first. So, how to do this? Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other cordelette. And what I'll do is I'll start passing it from one to the other. So, quick draws, if you guys have never climbed, this is where if you're leading, you know, the first time on a route, and there are bolts, you just go ahead and, go ahead and put them there. Now, I don't sew my own. I wouldn't trust myself. I'd rather have factory, but it never hurts to kind of have a look, you know. I mean, it's almost sort of like two carabiners put together, you know. Just make sure that they're all good, that the gates still work, and that there are no problems. All right, so, and there we have it. So let me go ahead and hang it here. There's one. All right, we're gonna take a break because this is gonna take a while and you guys are just gonna get bored. All right, so now shoes. Now these are the shoes that I'm currently using. You probably have seen me climbing. I really like them. The one problem I'm having is, you know, with my toe in there, after a little while, the nerves start really getting twitchy, and it's almost sort of like it calls the hyperreflexia back. So whenever I'm taking any breaks, whenever I'm belaying, you gotta take it off and rest the toe. It's what we have to do. These guys are older shoes that I could still use, but as you can see, they're still worn. One of the things that I'm hoping is that at some point someone will come with a how do you call it, a resoling service, and I can go ahead and use them. All right, so next we're going to look at harness, because my life depends on it. All right, so here are my static lines, a little bit intertwined, and these static lines are now, so these guys are 3 years old. Not nearly enough use. I need to get out more, okay? But these guys are in good shape. Okay, good shape. Now, this rope is now 5 years old. Let's see, I got it from a good friend of mine who unfortunately shattered his wrist, and he was basically told, you can't climb anymore. And at that time, in 2014, this rope had just over a year, right? And that was in April of 2014. So here we are, it's November 2017. So it has been 3 years plus 1.5. So it's about 5 years. And that's when ropes normally get retired. Now I have kept this rope in good shape, very little use. So I'm gonna try to squeeze 1 more year on it. But what I'll do is, come March, when I start looking at, okay, it's time to kind of think about going someplace and climbing, what I'll do is I'll do a very careful flaking, where like you just go and feel and make sure that there are no defects on the rope. Then I have some webbing. This webbing is as old as this, guys, 3 years. And this is only 2 years old. Not even 2 years, because we bought it in April of 2015. So one of the things is, as you purchase equipment, make sure you at the very least have a mental record of how long ago you bought it. So normally this is to set up anchors, and this is the rope that you climb on. Okay, and so this is it. That's my climbing thing. I mean, it's quite a bit, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people who do this full time. Well, not full time, but you know, like dirt bikes that have tons more. So that's it. So I had to retire 2 cordelettes. I had to retire 10 runners, which I'll have to do, which I'll have to replace. But I think everything else is in great shape, so I need to climb more so that it gets worn out. All right, guys.